let's continue this job in which I finish building the deck in front of my house. The first task will be the very repetitive one of fixing these joists to the beams. I've got a ton of these, so should be a good start. There is some work to be done here. As usual, everything is a little bit crooked, so I'm going to use this plank to make sure that all the joists are aligned at the front. I already took my first break after 5 minutes to make a tea. But I'm excited. I'm excited for this. I don't know if there's an official technique for this, but I'm starting by putting the first joist, well, almost the first and almost the last joist in place that this plank can reach. Then I'll fix this plank to those joists and I can line up the rest in between. Realistically though, it's probably going to take about a full day to do this, which sounds ridiculous, but it's a lot of nudging things a few millimeters back and forth to put it in place, and it's a lot of screws. Now this plank is fixed and I can make sure that all of these are exactly in the right location. And commence with nudging, measuring and screwing. Lots of screwing. I went to the hardware store yesterday and I picked up the last brackets, joist hangers, all the last little hardware bits that I was running out of, because all I need to do for this deck is just fix the last few bits here. This morning I was trying to figure out how I was going to stagger all of the planks, because unfortunately my deck is too long for the planks to all fit lengthwise, which I've done everywhere else, but I just couldn't find any way that I was happy with. Last few planks. So I sort of changed directions again just when I thought I was done, but I really want to do this. I think it's going to look a lot better. I want to create 3 sections. The planks are going to run lengthwise, but then I'm going to have 2 planks here and here right at the entrance. It just means that I need to cut a few more joists. I'm really hoping. I'm running very low in timber and I was hoping to use the last bits for something else, but I'm going to do this regardless. So yeah, there's a few more bits to be done, but after that it should simplify the plank laying. Right, I've added these 2 so I can put a plank on top in this direction and then run everything else like that. And I'm keeping these straight at the front because I'm going to use these to continue the stairs, or to attach the stairs. I think that will be a good idea. I don't know where this rain is coming from, but I don't like it. Stop. It's pretty cold today. So I finished all of the last bits yesterday, all of the last little ankle brackets, except for the few that I'm missing because I need to buy more. But other than that, everything is ready. I'm going to start with the planks today. So yesterday evening I put the last bits of tar on the new planks, and fun times, because when I went to place the bucket I pushed the lid down, but instead of pushing it shut I pushed it through into the tar, and the tar splashed up into my face and onto my hands, and one sleeve got drenched in tar oil. So now my checkered coat and my wool jumper, my really nice light colored wool jumper, are black. They've undergone like a really nice little tie-dye evolution. I tried to wash it, but it's kind of black. It's not good. It's all over the grass as well. So yeah, that's all out there. Oops. My coat is drying down here. Not sure about this. I mean, it's a work coat, so it doesn't really matter all that much as long as it doesn't feel weird. It still needs a lot of cleaning. But this jumper, it's a bit sad, because this jumper is really quite nice. I do have the question of in which direction am I going to lay these planks. When I was looking into this for this deck, I realized that people tend to choose one side. So it's either this grain going up or down. People tend to call it grumpy old man or happy old man. This one would be grumpy. But in the end, I ended up actually using both when I was looking at all of the planks. Some sides were just clearly a higher quality and more dense, and I ended up laying them just according to that, with the strongest, seemingly strongest side up. So it's all a mix and mesh. I'm sure some people are quite passionate about it, but I have seen that people have good arguments for both options. So I don't know whether in the end it matters all that much. I have to say, I've never walked on this deck thinking, I wish I'd laid these planks differently. So, I don't know. I'm going to lay all of these up there first. I'm not going to put them down yet. I think I'm actually going to, put all of the planks up there and then fix them all at the very end. Oh. Look at this one. So you can see with this plank quite clearly that it's got this soft part in the middle here on this side. This side doesn't have it, so I'm going to put this side up, and that would be grumpy old man style. I didn't make up that term. So this one will go here. One 392. I was going to put all the boards down first and then fix them, but I think it actually makes sense if I fix this middle section, because then this is all in place and everything else can be aligned accordingly. But I think it will take a little bit of time to make sure that this is sort of a perfect rectangle. I know I just said that I wasn't going to fix anything in place until I had all of the boards cut, but changing my mind. I wanted to wait originally because I very carefully measured this deck to take X amount of planks width-wise, and I just wanted to make sure that all of the spacing was correct so that they would all fit, but turns out they're not going to fit at all. There's going to be like a half width board at the end, so I can just as well fix it in place as I make this because it makes it easier. It's starting to get cold. Where is my where measuring tape. Okay, I am starting to get very cold. It's very cold. It's starting to get very cold. Okay. Oh. I'm making this gap a little bit bigger than I did last time. I realized that this timber swells up a lot, and I left about a 3mm gap last time, and this time it's going more towards 5mm. I'm using 2 angle brackets to space it, so it's another rain day. I was trying to figure out what I can do. There are things I can do inside, but I'm not very good at like mentally switching to another job. So I think, oh look, think it's looking cute. So I decided to go back to the hardware store, even though I was there just a few days ago, and pick up all of the little angle brackets and all those happy things that I'm going to need. Since I didn't pick up enough, I'm in my rain gear because I'm going to get wet. Bike's ready to go. I may or may not pick up some more timber for the entrance bit, but I won't need it for a bit longer, so I'll see when I get to this shop if I feel like getting all of that and cutting it and loading it into the little trailer I have. So yeah. I'm realizing I don't have any waterproof gloves. I wish I had waterproof gloves. I should get myself some waterproof gloves. On my bike. It's raining quite a bit. I'm already on the way back. I've got timber. Don't know if you can see. I've got a load of timber. I'm wearing my work gloves. They're working quite well. So yeah, all of the timber I've got. I just wrapped some plastic around it, but it's pressure treated for outdoor use anyways, so it's fine. I won't actually be using this timber for quite a while because this is for the bit in front of the front door underneath the porch, and I need to figure out that flaking porch first, fix that up before I'm going to lay the floor, but it's good to have it. Then I don't need to pick it up when potentially it is good weather and I could be doing better things. Oh yeah. Oh dear, I do feel a little bit drenched in a few different spots. Okay, let's put my timber under the tub. It's gone a bit muddy. I'm trying to puzzle all of the pieces together so I don't end up with seams where I could have avoided them. So I'm back to cutting the planks one by one, putting them in place without fixing them. can fix in place. I have to say, it's definitely fun to watch something come alive like this, slowly building something. Unfortunately, I think that I don't have enough timber. There's definitely some waste that I can't really do anything about. So I'll just continue putting this up here and see how far I get. These are my very last pieces of timber. It's definitely not enough. I'm trying very hard to figure out where I should place which piece so that when I go and buy the rest of it, I can cut them up in more easily transportable pieces. It's tricky because some of these last pieces have some like aesthetic downsides. So I'm trying to figure out what I should do with them. Why is this so difficult? Nice deck. I'm just realizing that I have a little bit more timber than I thought I did, because I made these stairs using the planks that are supposed to be used for the deck, because the ribbed ones were at the bottom of all of the package. So I decided to just use the timber that I could access and then substitute them later on, which is now. The only downside is that a couple of them are just a little bit too short to use anywhere, but the other ones I can use, and that's very helpful. I just realised that I can actually stand on this. Okay. It's cold and rainy and windy, but I really want to take today to fix these planks. I'm actually amazed at how much I managed to cover this deck with the timber I had. The only thing I'm missing is the last like half widths at the ends next to the wall, so I can live without that for now if I have to. Let's get started. I'm taking off my shoes because I don't want my deck to get dirty. Not until it's finished. I don't have an amazing solution when it comes to rainwater management from this downspout. It hits this foundation block exactly, which I don't want, so I want the water to come out a bit further down there. I haven't found anything all that too suitable yet. There's no clearance for an extension. So for now, I figured I would just take a garbage bag and zip tie that to the bottom. And probably keep it in place using rocks or something. So I'm going to try this. Yeah, that's kind of it. A few rocks to keep it in place. And that might be all I need. I need to do two things today. Work on that side of the deck and start working on the stairs. I'm not quite sure how to build them yet, so I've got a few different options, so I'll have to figure out as I build them. This is quite funny. I forget that I can just walk on the deck from this side to that side. You know, you create something new and suddenly life is a little bit different. I turned this bucket into my toolbox. Yes, I ended up making one more joist. So you've got this slight overhang here, which I decided I don't love. So I'm adding one more. Look at that. And then this narrow spacing here is going to be the same as the narrow spacing on the other end. Like this one here, and at the far end. So it all makes sense. I'm trying to move this plant that was here when I moved in. I don't actually like the plant, but I feel bad about killing it, so I think I'm going to try and put this something just down here. And I'm not sure I'm doing a very good job, but it's something. I realised I did not make my paste big enough, so I need a bigger rock. Because I'm not going to remake the paste. This is a bigger rock. Okay, I'll figure that out. That looks decent. The idea was to extend this so it aligns with the end of the window. I'm going to need to spend some time fudging this rock so it does something. It doesn't need to be insanely strong, or I would have used another foundation block, but this end little bit of the deck is going to be more like a bench or table. So it's not going to be for walking on. This testing is going to be a bit more tricky. Unfortunately, it looks like I'm going to have to go back to the shop again to get more materials, because it's not going to happen with the timber that I have. The slope is more severe than I measured originally, and I'm going to need timber that's wider. I would just like to make a note that we need to completely ignore this weird end bit, because I did not plan this. This happened. Okay, I take no responsibility for this. This is not the most gorgeous day to finish a project, but look at my little deck. She's so cute. There are a couple of things I was still going to address about this deck. A couple of things are still missing, and one of them is the blocking. I put blocking in between the joists on the other side of the deck I did last year, which makes the deck a lot more sturdy, but also it means that you won't be able to look all the way through from the front, but I don't have the timber. So next time I do a big order, I'll make sure to add that, and then I can put it in retrospectively. So this is one very obvious feature of the deck that I haven't mentioned at all, which is the difference in level. So this is a step down from the deck I made last year, and there are two reasons for this. The first reason is that this deck sits on top of existing concrete step, the same steps I have at the front of the house leading to the front door, and it wasn't going to be possible to have the deck at the same level at the side of the house and the front of the house. So I decided to give this a step down so it sort of turns into a feature. The other reason is that this house is on like a slope. When you look at it from the front, sometimes when a house is surrounded by a high deck, it looks very disconnected from the surroundings, and having a lower deck sort of minimizes that. And then there's actually a discrepancy in materials between last year's deck and this deck, which is very annoying. I'm over it now. It's okay. But it was very annoying when I realized this. When I made the order for this deck, I referred to an old order list which I made for this one, and I forgot that at the last minute when I made my order I adjusted some of those. So the joists used on this deck are 45 by 145, but the ones I received for this deck are 45 by 170, which isn't necessary. Obviously you don't see it, it's fine, but it was very unnecessary and obviously more expensive. When I realized I made that mistake, I noticed another mistake. These planks are 120 wide and the planks I used for this deck are 145. I thought it was another mistake. However, it wasn't until I'd already had the timber for about 3 months here that I found out actually that wasn't my mistake. I ordered 145 timber and received 120 timber. So that's annoying, and I wish I checked earlier. I just assumed it was my mistake because I made another mistake. So I had less timber to work with and it looks different, but I guess you don't really notice it. It's still cute. And I'm looking forward to working on the stairs. I figured out the stairs. I know how I'm going to make them. I'm happy about this. So I'm also going to do something a little bit different around the front porch actually. I should say now that this is not going to happen for a while. Probably not until next year. I really want to integrate planters into this deck. Like right here. Obviously this porch is going to be renewed, but I want to put plant pots here. I want them to reach all the way to the ground so that I can put in plants, like climbing plants, so that they can reach the ground. But this is future. I curved this side because I really like the idea of adding like a bench or a shelf that I can put plants on. It's a little bit like the deck on the other side where the stairs also turns into a shelf. And I have this curve feature in a few other spots, typically when I try to build around plants. So I thought this could be cute. I'm not quite sure what happened down there. Let's ignore it. This is very unintentional. Anyway, so that's my deck. It's just in time for winter, so I, can't use it.